No, it is recorded. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in with me. I am Kaylynne from KaylynneSpeaks.blog. With me, I have my sisters, and I am so hyped to do this conversation with them. If y'all saw my vlog already, y'all know that this was the topic the Lord had to wrestle me. Okay, I mean sleepless nights. I mean fasting, I mean praying, I mean in his spirit to tell me to say, no, you're doing this, and jacked up my whole schedule for me to actually post, okay? But nevertheless, this is a topic that we cannot not talk about. You know, we're human, and how could we not, discuss something that was our testimony, and that is my testimony, that can help other people too, that can help other people reach their goal, reach their purpose in life, but also not make the mistakes we made, not make the mistakes I made as well, because there are so many of them, okay? But bottom line, we want you to reach your goals. We want you to reach in your purpose that God has for you. We want you to know that God has so much for you. We want you to know that you never have to settle. And we also want you to know that you don't have to wait, okay? While you're waiting, you can be working. And this is what we're here to talk about today, living life through your singleness. So I have my sisters. I already told them they are my sisters, okay? My sisters with me, Shyra Latrice, Donjhae Jones, Taylor Graham, y'all. They are bomb, okay? Don't call them my sisters to call them my sisters. No. They are powerhouse women. They are believers. They are so dope. We laugh all the time, me and all of them, okay? We're joking around, laughing, having fun, talking about life, talking about our purpose. We're encouraging each other too to help to fulfill what God has for us in our lives. We are big on that and saying, okay, leave nothing behind, give him everything, and give the world what he gave you to do. Because when we go up, we want to say, hey, we did everything, okay? And we did it with purpose in it. So thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, the reason why we wanted to do this was to talk about living life through our singleness. Right, ladies? Right. Yes.
Yes. I have myself on mute.
No, yes. So basically, what does that mean to you all? What does that mean, like living life through your singleness? And even when I was talking to someone, they said you used through, which is very significant, and why I did that. For some, through is, you're walking through it, but you're not waiting and you're not rushing. But what does that mean what does living life through your singleness mean to you all?
I'll go first. For me, it personally means not like waiting until my significant other come around to live life. Like I'm still traveling. I'm about to like go into real estate, as in like going to purchase like my own home. So it's like doing these things, like you don't have to have a significant other to do these things. Live your life. And just living out my purpose. Like right now I'm getting grounded in what God wants for me to do, and like because I feel like I have like more than one purpose. So just getting rooted in all these different things like is, I think, very key. Like, because if you get someone else that come into this situation, like while you over where God is building you up, that can cause confusion. So right now I need a clarity. So I need to be by myself. I need this season of singleness. So like you said, going through, because just a season.
Period. That's so dope. Okay, my snap. Okay.
Yes, I love it. I would say I agree with what Taylor said. I am one, my friends know, like I could have been a Disney princess. I love and healthy love and relationships. And for a long time, I struggled with being single. I'm like, God, you said you wouldn't withhold any good thing from me. What are you doing?
Okay.
Oh my God. And it took me a minute to get here, to just enjoy this season. Because I know when he come, honey, we got things to do. Okay.
Okay.
And that's real.
Bye, y'all.
I'm dead.
I
I would co-sign with both of them. I mean, I feel like this is a time for me to enjoy being single, because when you're in a relationship, there are sacrifices that you are going to have to make just because that's what a relationship is. And right now, I want to be selfish. I want to just go on a trip and I don't have to tell anybody where I'm going. I enjoy it. Like, and I think there's so many things that I feel like God is working on with me, and so many things that I need to learn, like Taylor said, by yourself, like without this extra person around, because you have to work on their personality, figure out how you can mesh well with them with certain things. And so I'm enjoying it. I take myself on Friday dates every day. I mean, not every day, every Friday. Like, I make sure I'm enjoying this single time. And when my man comes, like Shyra said, it's on and popping.
On and popping. Hey, no, that's so real what you said. And I have to say, Donjhae, it took me a while to even think that way. It took me a while to even say, yo, I'm enjoying my singleness, you know? Like I wrote in my blog, I said, this was actually hard in the beginning. Like I struggled big in the beginning. And I idolized marriage. I idolized even having a boyfriend, dating, you know what I mean? It took me a while to say like, yo, I can live now. You know, like I thought living was okay when I find somebody, okay, that's when we can go on these vacays, we can live, you know, but like Tay and y'all said, like we can actually live now to do that, you know, why wait for, you know, all those things when we can just do it now. We can do it in our purpose now. We can buy that house now. We can start that business now, earn that master's now, you know, why do we have to wait for that? And it took me a while to get in that in my mindset where to even realize that a marriage is just one part of me, you know, my husband's just one part of me. God has a whole thing for me to do. My whole purpose, my whole, you know, fashion, I love everything like that. Like Tay said, we're all like have various different purposes. And even being in ministry at the church, it took me a while to say, okay, yo, I have to fill all those other gaps as well right now. I have to tend to that now. And when he comes, you know, I can tend to that too.
And somebody said something really, really impactful to me. They said that like a whole plus a whole, a whole times a whole is a whole. But if you have a whole person and a half of a person, you're less. So you're half of a person. So when you meet that person, you want to be a whole and you want them to be a whole, so that it will be a whole together.
Period. That's so dope.
Right. Two halves do not make a whole when it comes to relationships. It causes problems and divisions. And like, yeah, that's another thing. That's why I'm like so like gung ho on like focusing on yourself, getting yourself together. Because if you're hurt people hurt people. So you want to be healed. You want to be like on the right path, because like you guys need to be on one accord.
Amen.
Okay. That is no, but honestly, that is so real. That is so major to say, like whole people, whole and whole, you know what I mean? Like she said, half people, what is this half, you know? Also like finding your half, you know, I gotta find my other half. I'm whole, y'all.
I'm whole, girl.
Legit.
Legit. You am the other half.
On period. Hello? But what does that mean to y'all? Like, what does wholeness mean? Like, you know that we don't like that phrase, like I find my other half. So what does wholeness look like to us?
Complete in God, right?
Go
ahead, Donjhae.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't think like we're never going to be perfect. So there's always going to be things that we have to work on. But when it comes to just being whole, it's like loving who you are, understanding who you are, understanding how it's not, relationships aren't just with a man, it's or woman, whatever you choose, but it's also with your friends. So how you react with your friends, how are you reacting emotionally with your friends? Do you understand where your emotions are coming from? Do you have a good grasp on you as a person? Do you love yourself as a person? And I think that is what makes you whole. Do you love your flaws? We're not perfect, so you do also need to love your flaws, understand your flaws, and be okay and accepting of your flaws. I think that is whole.
I love it.
No, I would 100% agree with Donjhae. I think that sometimes we tend to focus more on one thing and the other thing suffers. So being whole mentally, being whole spiritually, financially, like all of that. Yeah. We ain't messing with no broke men.
Come
okay.
So, we gotta look like
woman. Okay, I don't want to be
That's
broke
real.
either. So I think all of that is important, and just knowing who you are, like she said, because if I don't know who I am, when I get with somebody, I will allow them to tell me who they think I am.
That's very true.
So that's
a key point. That was really
yes,
good.
know your
Fire
worth,
on
right?
that.
So you won't settle. Yeah,
Yes.
that's like knowing your worth.
Right.
Because I'm not taking care of no grown man. Like I'm not.
No. And neither should a grown man be taking care of a grown woman. Like y'all should it should just be compatible.
Exactly. If anything, you should be building each other up and growing together. Yes.
Yeah.
Period. That's really good. That's really good. I love that. Especially when you everything about that was really dope. Like wholeness, you know what I mean? Like Donjhae said, we're always growing. It's like a continuous cycle, you know what I mean? Like, and when you're in this time, I love that. Like basically marriage is a relationship, you know, like it's with you and your spouse, but to get to know yourself more, go out with your friends, you know, learn what you like, what you don't like, what learn you know what ticks you off, you know, learn what
right,
your hobbies, learn what type of person you are, how you communicate, how are you when you're upset, you know. That's one thing I always, you never really know good strong relationship until you have those uncomfortable conversations,
right,
talk about, okay, this affected me in this way, and this is why, and this is how we can move on, you know. How are you as a communicator? We're looking at these things, you know, but we're not just looking at it for someone else, we're looking at ourselves too. We're looking at it, mirrored ourselves and saying, hey, am I do I react or do I respond? Do I yell first, or do I think before I do it? And then I say, okay, let's talk about this and sit down with this. Like, how am I in communicating with another person, even to my friends, you know, my parents, my family, you know, how am I with that? And then how can I get better at it? How can I grow it? So I love that, because we're even still in this, you know, like singleness or whatever state everyone is, we're always working on us. And I think that's the awesome part about it. We all have to, you can't neglect yourself, you know, that's the bottom line also with living through your singleness. You can't neglect you. You can't neglect working on you. Like, okay, hey, God, I have this desire. You know, I'm praying for you for it, and I'm believing about it, but I'm going to lay it at your feet right now. And I'm going to have you do it. You tell me what we're going to do. You know, you guide that. And as I wait for your direction, I'm going to work on you right now.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
like,
so
that's
good. Real. That made me think of Ruth, how she was like in the field gleaning and stuff. And Boaz noticed her. Like, she wasn't searching for Boaz. He noticed her while she was working. So it's just like you said, doing the work on yourself, being busy for like about our Father's business. That's when he will come along. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah, I agree.
That's real. Mm-hmm. That's major. That's major. Yeah, I like that too. That's really good too. Yeah, especially like you said, she's working on herself, working on being, you know, like what God had told her to do. And like you said, being about her Father's business. Has it gotten challenging for y'all? Like, are there some difficult like moments? And if so, like, how do you overcome them?
I mean, I'll say I've gotten to the point where I really do enjoy being single, and I'm dating. But I will say before that, I think it was hard, mostly because, I mean, to an extent, I mean, you want compatibility. You want to have somebody that feels like your best friend, and like you can do everything with them, and like they're just your right-hand person. And then you see like your friends in relationships, and you're like, dang, y'all out here living your best life, and I'm over here just by myself. So I think to an extent it gets, that was hard. And then I think too, like, I don't like certain terms like talking and dating. Like, if I'm dating people. I'm not in a relationship with you. So I think terminology also played a part in me feeling bad, because when I used to say in terms of dating, like, oh, I'm like only talking to this one specific person, and when I like you, I'm stuck with you for like 4 years. So it's a long time. Now, like, using the terminology to be like, oh, dating is getting to know someone, getting to know if I like this person, getting to know if this person is compatible with me. That helped me kind of get through the single, like, not my single, but I really am enjoying about different personalities. Like, before, I don't even think I was open to learning different people. Like, I'll be like, oh, I like him, and now I'm stuck with this man. Now I'm like, okay, I like this trait in this person. I might like this trait in this person, but am I really compatible with either one of these things? And this is also a part of just getting to know yourself better too. Instead of just liking the first thing that likes you back or that you also find attractive. You're getting to know them under the attractiveness and under the first thing, because honestly, people are fake when they're dating in general. You got to get to know people. So
call it spade.
Like, you're just trying to, it's like you're trying to put your best foot forward.
Impress.
I need you to put your feathers down so I can see what's really going on.
Period.
That's what I'm
But comparison, I think that's the overall thing. Seeing other people, that was the hardest thing at first.
Yeah. No, that's real. Because I think, like, in this season right now too, for me, a lot of my really close friends, even in DC, I've actually helped so many of them in their relationships, in their careers now. So I kind of, and I laugh at it, like, you know, to myself, I'm like, quick, God, like, as I'm waiting, I'm working, but this way is how I'm helping them, you know, like, my work is like legit helping 2 couples now are about to get engaged. You know,
Kaylynne is like the Cupid.
And I'm like, how can I do this?
And not even like dating. I'm getting you to get married.
Right.
Oh, but for real. And I see, and I'm like, yo, God, like, one, I'll say it's absolutely beautiful to see other people, you know, that happy and stuff like that. But for me, I don't know about if it was like comparison, but mine, for me, just personally, was like loneliness, because I was in a new season where I'm in a new city, you know, DC's popping, you know, and hello, good morning, chocolate and ice cream stop. Okay, but there's a lot of urban, and Donjhae knows that's my type, you know, and so. And I know God, you know, what God said and everything like that. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait for you. And until you bring that, I'm just going to, you know, do my will and do the purpose and what you have for me to do. But in those seasons, sometimes, I'll be honest, it can get lonely. That's why, you know, like, I'm asking the questions, and that's why I even started this, because it's getting to a point where there's, like, you know, a shift and stuff. But for me, it was to go after my purpose, okay, what are some hobbies that you enjoy? What are something that, you know, like, yes, hobbies that are like work, but also what are the things that you haven't done lately? Like, read a book, or like learn a different language, or even cook like a whole new meal. Like, let me make some Indian cuisine or something, you know, like, I don't know, something dope like that. Or even spend some time with my friends that I have here too, and even help them cultivate their own now relationships. I'm like, oh my gosh, that came up out of nowhere. But for me, I had to, you know, like ask myself, okay, like, where did this, you know, come from? And then where like the loneliness come from? And then how can I, one, submit that under God, but two, how can I, you know, change that? How can I change my present, you know, because I still had to stay in the present. Like, with anyone, like, I'll be honest, like, even in the past, the future was always my number one focus. Like, I was like, present where? Hello, we in the future, Jesus. 10 years from now, what's up? You know? But the present is where I had to be. And I learned to love the present so much. Like, it's so busy, it's so active, but it's fun, you know? And there's so much life. So that was my perspective a little bit.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, me too. And that's so good about being present, because I'm kind of like you. Like, I'm always like goal oriented. I like to prepare. I'm in the details, and I'm always like looking towards the future. And like, God really dealt with me, like, being present in the now and being appreciative, because like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So just being thankful, like, who's in my life now, what I'm doing now, what I have now. So that's something that I've been focusing on. Something that's been hard for me in my singleness. Let's see. So when we were back in the office pre-COVID, I had a lot of colleagues that were like, they're older. They're like, so when you get married, when you gonna have kids? Like, always. Every time we had like a UPS guy or FedEx guy come in, they'd nudge like, Taylor, like, no, I'm good. Like, so thankfully my family never been like that. Like, they never been pressed for me to get in a relationship. I was in a really long relationship from high school to college. I dated one person, and then I was in situationships afterwards.
Girl.
Oh my God.
Like after college, it was like, but I've been like single for like 5 years now.
That
So,
part.
it's been like pretty good. Like at first, kind of like you guys, I was like, what I'm gonna do with all this free time? Like, I'm so used to like having someone, but I was never like, I've never been the person to be like, oh, I need someone. Like, I was never the person to jump into a relationship or like into another relationship like back to back, because I'm like, I'm cool with being by myself. And similar, I can't remember who said it, like they take themselves on dates. Like, yeah, pre-COVID, I used to go to movies by myself. I used to go out to eat by myself. Like, and now that this stuff is starting to open back up, I'm like, gonna do that again. I've been to different countries by myself, and it's been a ball. So like, I totally like recommend doing this stuff now, because like when you get in a relationship, like you got to think about other people's time. You got to think about, especially if y'all start having kids, like there's a lot of things that you won't be able to do now with this freedom than when you have later. Not saying that you're going to be all locked up and clink clink when you're married, but you won't be as free. Like,
right.
So
no, that's fun.
Taylor, where are you located?
Raleigh.
I think of like environment has a big factor in that too. Because when I was like, everybody in Raleigh is like married. And so I feel like they put pressure on you because that's just the norm there. So like, I definitely think environment plays a huge factor.
That's a valid point.
That's such a good point. That's honestly a really good point. Like DC, you see a lot of singles.
Yeah.
Walking around everywhere.
So I definitely understand that pressure.
No, for real. Definitely Raleigh was like that, especially walking downtown. All you saw were couples.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. People were just like, they looked at you weird if you were single. So yeah. I Taylor.
Now, like, it don't even bother me, but initially, yeah, because like most of my friends, some are married now. But yeah, they were like all in relationships. They want to do couple game night and stuff. I'm like, y'all know I'm single. Like, y'all gonna invite a friend for me? Like,
I know that's right. Don't be
But yeah, but you'll get used to it, and then you start making new friends, and like you have ladies' nights and stuff. So it's all good.
Yeah,
I know it's gonna come. The thing is, the hard part is trusting God's timing for me.
Ooh.
That's the hard part, because I don't be knowing. I'm like, God, can you speed this up a little bit? Like,
no, but for real, like that's major. Like that's the whole thing, a whole nother thing. Like when, you know, like enjoying and living through it and finding your purpose and stuff, that's through the singleness is one thing. But then like when you just waiting on him, you're like, okay, God, like when? Okay, God, like where? Like who is it? Like, oh, what does your plan look like? Can I at least get some insight, or is it just trust? You know? But it's real though. You have to like, you know, teach yourself and tell yourself and, you know, remind yourself like, yo, God, I trust you. I'm going to walk today. A lot of times I have to remind myself, I'm like, okay, God, like you still there, right? You good? Like he went away somewhere.
God does get quiet sometimes.
Like, I don't know why he went somewhere other than now. I'm like, I'm breathing, so you must still be here. Like, hello, you ain't forget me, did you? But no, like, basically it's real. Like, trusting him and his timing is like real. And we realize like he operates obviously like outside of time, and then like his timing is perfect, you know, like for even our own seasons in our past and what we've been through and what he brought us through, like it was on time at the right time, you know, like even how we all met, you know, like even in Raleigh or Ohio, or even how we got connected and started doing this and starting, you know, like helping each other and working with each other, and encouraging each other with, whatever we're doing. It was all about seasons, you know. It was about like a certain time in a certain season, and that's how he operates, really.
In seasons.
That's major.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So what season would you guys say you're in, other than singleness? Like right now, I feel like I'm hitting, and I kind of like I had this kind of dawned on me when I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes and Pastor Stephen Furtick. This was like a year or two ago, not this past one that they did, but they had a conversation, and he was like, Bishop T.D. Jakes was like, God hide, like, you hide prized possessions, you hide those things, you keep them under lock and key. And I was like, dang, like, and I was just thinking about everything. I like your girl being in like a safety deposit for a minute, like
I'm dead.
so I was like, but it also made you feel like more appreciative of this thing, like you're like not getting overlooked or anything. It's just like, no, he has something valuable for you. That's why the wait is so long. So yeah.
I realized that I do want to be married. I do want to have kids, but I don't want that stuff anytime soon. And I had to put that in perspective for me, because why am I trying to chase a husband when that's not even what I want?
What you want.
And so
right
I
now.
figured out what I actually want, and it's not that right now. Like I want it eventually, but I don't want it anytime soon. Like I still want to enjoy myself, especially because I feel like there's just so much to learn about yourself and just growing. And even with COVID, like I was able to be a part, like with my family more. And then I realized, you know what, if I ever meet a man, I really want him to have a really good connection with my family. So I'm just learning these little bits and pieces. But I think I really had to realize I don't want this anytime soon. So like, why am I trying to look for it now?
That's good. No, that's real. That's real.
I'm just curious, and then I'm going to answer that question. What are our ages? How old are you ladies?
You want to start?
I'm 34.
I'm the young.
No, you're not.
I'm 34.
Dang.
Right.
I'm a little bit older. So, I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to what I think it was Donjhae and Kaylynne said, or maybe it was Taylor, that they're so future and goal oriented. And so, again, this is me being a Disney princess. I just knew that I would be married and had 2 kids by 30. So,
For real.
Nah, that is true.
25.
No.
So you could
you said 25?
Married, yeah.
Kaylynne, aren't you like
24? You couldn't have told me that I would still be single at this 34 age.
Real.
And I had a similar situation like Taylor. I dated a young man from, I think I was 16, he was 17 until college. And you couldn't tell me that we weren't going to be married. He got beside himself. So he had to go. So
we have a similar. Yeah, I was with this guy for almost 7 years.
Yeah, that we were together for about 7-8 years. I was single after that for 3 years because I was just like, y'all ain't gonna keep playing with me. Y'all not about to keep playing with me out here. So I stayed single for about 3 years. Then I met a situation, got entangled. You know, Jada. So,
I'm dead.
okay. Got entangled, and I was just like, God, like, what is going on? Like, I felt like I gave him my roof season. Like, I was out here working, minding my business. Like, I was intentional with it. I'm like, God, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna get in this field. I'm gonna do everything you want me to do. Now you got some time to send Boaz, however you gonna send them. And he was like, no. No. So I just think that this season right now that I am in, like, it's just fun. Like, I've never been like happy single. And I'm not like, oh, I gotta be with somebody, even though I'm a Disney princess, but
Hello.
I'm cool right now. I'm just, seeing what's out there.
So I'm 26. So I feel like I'm super like positive and like this right now because I haven't reached 30.
Yes.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I'm just being completely honest, because if I reach 30 and I'm still like this, it's probably gonna go down a little bit. Like, okay. So like, I guess, how are you in your 20s? How did that change in your 30s? What have you learned? Like, And how has your, I guess, your perspective of relationships changed as well?
That's a good question.
Ooh,
Really good question.
Wow, that's a good question. I was with that one person for that amount of time. Literally, I was 16. We probably didn't stop dating till I was probably about 23, I think.
Wow.
23,
Yeah.
24. And like I said, I just knew I was gonna marry him. Like, we were talking about getting married. We were sitting down with wedding planners, like everything.
Wow.
We
Y'all was super far.
Yeah. we was getting married. And I don't know. Now I'm 34. So every year after 30, I was like, oh God, it ain't gonna never happen. It's a done deal. I'm like, I don't want to be super old having kids and like my kids running over me because I'm old. I had this whole plan, like I'm gonna still be cool and young. And God said,
And
you just
you
gonna be
still
the
can.
cool auntie. So it really wasn't until this year that, again, things just shifted. And I'm just like, whenever it happens, it happens.
Right.
I wasn't sad. Usually I would be sad when my birthday come, like, oh my God, I'm still single, no kids. Like, God, what are you doing? And this year it was like, where we going? I know we in the house now, but where we going? Where we going?
That part.
Right.
I love
it.
Yeah.
So I'm 30, and after my first boyfriend or whatever, I thought I was gonna marry him too. I was abstinent initially when I met him, and then of course I was like, oh, I love him. I'm gonna stay together. We're gonna stay together forever. We're gonna get married. So I ended up having sex with him, whatever. Fast forward to our breakup. After that, I was like, you know what? Forget these ninjas. And I was just like in situationships. So I was like, just, I don't know, I was ruthless, like to these guys. So I actually, hurt people. So I was like hurting.
You was out here
people.
slaying.
Yeah, just rude, just mean, had no feelings. Like what? But I actually wrote a whole book about all my situationships and that whole thing.
Go ahead and put your plug, girl. Go ahead and put it in.
Shameless plug. It's called False Start, a record of experiences. But yeah, it's really good. And I was very vulnerable in that book. But I say all that to say, now that I'm 30 and I've been single for like approximately 5 years, I actually enjoy this season. I'm enjoying it now than I did when I was like in those other relationships, because I'm like get to know myself more, knowing what I want to do. Like, of course I knew what I wanted to do then, but it's just like
like she was so real, like, and y'all, she came to Washington DC like last weekend, and I was like, dang, and she's like, yeah, like, we started talking, I was like, really? So one of them in the book? And she's like, yeah, and I was like, I know him, I heard about him, I read about him, like legit, like his book. She's so authentic. She's so raw. She's so real, but she also helps other women too.
Good.
That's why I love about it. She was so vulnerable about it, but like in a way where I read the book and I said, yeah, I did that too, and I had to overcome that as well. And I had to learn how to love me through that. And I had to learn, all my situationships, and yeah, sex in a situationship. I had to learn how to, Kaylynne, you can't do that. You gotta love yourself. You gotta
the entanglements are real.
Y'all, I've only had entanglements. I've never had a boyfriend.
That is facts. No, like it's so real.
Wait, for 4 years though? A 4-year entanglement?
No, legit. Nah. Wow. It was a whole, when I tell you I get attached, it was a 3-year situationship, a 4-year situationship, a 1-year situationship. None of these people were my boyfriends.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess y'all just now like never put a title to it, but you're doing everything that a
we
girlfriend
did everything
would do.
like yeah. Yeah. But no. There were things that I wouldn't have accepted if they were my actual boyfriends. But actually only the 4-year one was somebody I would have considered to be like closest to my boyfriend. Everybody else, no.
Yeah.
I was just in college and stupid.
It was just I got you. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah.
But also, while we're talking about singleness, if we're just being completely honest with things that you have to struggle with. So I'm a virgin, but I like being touched. I like being kissed. I like activities. And so like that was hard. Like that, like not going from having somebody like love on me and touch on me to like
nothing.
Like,
nothing.
Real.
That is hard. That is so hard.
It is hard. But for me, I learned not to put myself in those situations. So I didn't have like guys come over to my house, or I really didn't go out to their house. Like if I went out with someone or hang out, it would be like a group of people, or it'd be like a public area, like a restaurant or something. So then I wouldn't be as tempted.
I get that. My love language is physical touch. So.
What can I say about that? I will say I want to go back to something. I think it was Taylor that said it, and I guess it kind of goes in line with what Donjhae said. I was a virgin until I met my second situation. Okay. And I was probably like 25, right? And the boyfriend that I was with from 16 to 24, he cheated because we weren't having sex, right? And I'm like, bro, you knew what it's hitting for when you got with me. I told you. I told you what it was. And you went all this time. And now, but I'm like, okay, I get it. So my next person that I was with, I don't know what it was that just made me like, okay, this is it. Like, maybe I'm gonna see what it do this time if I give y'all.
Did you feel pressured because of the last incident, how it played out?
I think I felt pressured because even with the last person, I also told him like, I ain't with all that. Like this ain't that. I don't want to do that. And I don't know what happened. It just happened. And
that's real.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was something that I was just looking for, because I really took my virginity very, very serious. Like when that thing happened, the Lord might as well just had came and got me. I'm ready. Just beam me up.
Oh no.
That part is real.
I was just like, God, all right, this come and crack the sky. It's a wrap now. So I was so devastated. But listen, this is how devastated I was. I kept doing it, right? So I was so devastated. But the girl kept going back for more. Okay. So
I get it, because you be like, well, I already done messed up.
That's
funny. It's facts. That's complete lies.
Yeah, it was. And the crazy thing about it is like, okay, sex is amazing. I don't want to, it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be a great thing, right? So, but when I was in those situations, there was no pressure. So like, if I don't want to do it, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not, even though I've had it, it's not like, ooh, where can I get my next fix? Like, it's not like that for me. Like, so I can be with somebody and not have sex with them. So, and I've only ever had sex with that one person, because I'm like, I ain't adding all these bodies, guy. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna just keep going back to you. As toxic as you are, you just gonna be, I already gotta apologize to God and my husband for not keeping myself, so I'm gonna just be one and done with you and heal. And that's literally how my situation, it was probably like, what is this, 2011 to last year probably. I wasn't having sex all that time, but we were in that situation. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm hitting your line
with him,
sure. So, but if I don't want to do it, there's nothing that you can say to me. There's no pressure.
I feel like that's why I've been in situationships, because I'm a virgin, because I'm very like, I'm gonna kiss you, I'm gonna give you hugs, but I'm not going that far. And I'm like very set in that. And I'm comfortable with that, and I don't want to have sex with you. Like, so, but that, like, for us, I know just from all my guy friends, like girls, like we might be okay, but they're literally built like that. So I feel like a lot. I mean, me being a virgin is a huge like drop. So I feel like it's super hard to meet a guy that, I mean, people respect me, but are they okay with dating me? That's different.
Wow. Wow. That's so
Keep it up,
But that
girl.
makes
Keep
me,
it up.
but that makes me think though, like if they're not, yeah, they respect it, but like how long did you see yourself being in this anyways? Because you know that once we get married, then I'm yours. So like if you're already like hesitant, then that means were you not really like in it for the long haul? Like granted, you're not gonna know that from the jump.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of people like nowadays, like they think like they have sex as a requirement before they marry somebody. Cause they're like, how am I gonna know if she's good or not? And you just not gonna
trust
know.
the Lord.
You just gotta
right.
find out. But I think just in the how things are, which saying this too, so like I understand both sides, to be honest. Like I'm not somebody who's gonna judge somebody for having sex. I honestly could care less. It's your body, it's not mine. Like do what you do. But I think people like how things have gone in the new age, it went from like people shaming people for not being virgins to now like I feel like people look at me funny for being virgin. So I think it's just kind of a switch type of a thing. And now instead of like people praising virgins, which they shouldn't have done, I mean, I don't think anybody should be put on a pedestal for something in general. But instead of that, now it's like, oh, you're not having sex? Like, how am I going to know if I even want to be with you in general as a wife? So like, I think it's that.
That's so
that's
wild.
just certain dudes. I think I just haven't met the guy who was okay with
it. When he do, he's going to be smart because like sex is something you can teach. Like you can learn together what each other like. So they're lost. But
especially when it's God's, you know, like especially when it's God's yes for you. Like that's the one thing about when Taylor said about trust. Like we have to get to a point, and not saying like they're not, but like it's just mentally like a point where God, I trust you so much. You know, like my insecurity, you know what I've done and what I haven't done. Like, you know what I look for and what I don't look for. I have to trust you enough to know that you have that guy for me and he's like and you're preparing him for me, you know me, for what I want. So like, I feel like even if, you know, like that you are a virgin, you're saving yourself. First off, I commend that. Like, I think that's the best thing ever. Oh my God.
Yes. I was about to say, I wish I had the willpower to
same. I'm like, all these situations, if you can leave, you know, if I was that, like, who I was now to where what I was, I wish I was like that. I would literally hold the door open for you so they can leave, you know, like I'll be the one, I'll lock it back, you know, I'll block you, don't block me, I got this, you know, like I would legitimately be that person. And because it's not, okay, to me, I say personally, not just with the biblical perspective to it, but just like in general, it's not worth losing if you're not ready for that yet, you know, like I do wholeheartedly believe like it should be under a covenant. Because you are one with that person, you know what I mean? Like things do happen spiritually like that. But I also believe like, yo, like that type of, you know, level of intimacy, stuff like that, it should be waited until marriage or, you know, however other people do it. But I personally think marriage. And it's been a while for me. I can't tell you the last time because I forgot. Probably, I don't know, maybe 2018. Into 2017, 2018 was the last time.
Is that not hard for y'all though? Because I feel like
because we were exposed to it.
I want to have sex.
No, real is barely. But you learn to, I don't know. In the beginning, it was extremely hard. Now, and that because that was my mind. I was focused on that, you know. I was focused on the side to learn to like get out of it. Not saying it's hard now, no. Like, I mean, not saying it's easy now, like, no, like, you know. But I don't know. That's for me, at least, I can say personally, that's not my focus right now. So like my focus is like on, like for instance, I'll be real. Like when I get into bed, I'm not thinking about like sex. I'm not thinking about like, you know, like, or even to the extreme, like porn or masturbation. I'm really thinking about sleep. Like I'm really
legit. I was like, maybe it's just older age.
You know, like that's literally my mindset, and that's my focus. Like I grew out. Obviously, did not happen overnight. No, when I tell you, I had baggage after baggage after baggage I had to release. Like, I mean, in counseling and with God and prayer, with my my prayer, like, you know, mentors and stuff, I had to release it all to them. I was the situation queen. Like, I even wrote in my blog, I remember God said, stop chasing men and start chasing me. He exposed me. I was like, oh, so you think I'm chasing? So you think, but why you? I was literally so heartbroken. But it convicted me in such a good way to where now I'm like so focused on like even like what I even want changed. You know what I mean? Like what I desire even changed.
Mm-hmm.
Even what I desire.
That's good.
Changed, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for what I used to look for. I'm not what I looked for. Honestly, it hurt me. It made me bad. It was like, okay, Kaylynne, do you have your self-worth in? You know, for what you accepted, what you tolerated. Did you I didn't have enough self-worth, basically. Like I tolerated more than I should have, and it wasn't God, and God saw that, you know. And so now I'm like, nah, I know my worth, I know what I want, and I'm even challenging myself to where like, yo, I know what I want and what God said so strong. You can't look my way. If you're not God's yes, you know, text me. I don't like. I'm so strong, but that's beautiful. That's my own conviction. I'm so strong. I like. If people say phone is dry, yeah, my phone is dry, and I'm happy. You know, because I'm not gonna have. If you're not God's yes, I don't want you, and that's on period. That's with a T, a little lamb with the whole capital T. And it got to a point where I have community talk to, like, y'all, I can talk to y'all, but even at my church here, like, I love it. My pastors, and first they've been married. I think I told Donjhae about this and Shyra, but like they met each other, like in 3 months they were married, been married for like 13, they celebrated their 13th anniversary this week in Cancun. But like, had to see how they did, and they talk, they're so open about like their struggles, what they did and everything, but to see and to talk to them and how they and other people my age at the church too encourage each other, like, no, y'all, we gonna wait it out. And even to see men, not even just like period, that part, to see not only just like examples of like our pastor, but to see my 2 close friends, guys pursued them. And like one guy, like he was literally did not talk to no girl for 5 years plus. Did not talk to a girl, no, something like that. Within 3 days, I remember they were texting one time and she said, she's like, first, you know, I like this guy or whatever. And I share their story all the time. They're okay with it. But like, she's like, oh my gosh, I like this guy, but he's like a youth pastor and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, girl, like, I'll pray with you on it, but you know, let's, you know, kind of go after it. She started, you know, some of his Bible studies that he'd host too. She'd be in there on. So he shouted her out on Bible study, and I was on. She FaceTimed me at the time, and then she was like, Kaylynne, oh my gosh, you just talked to me. You just said, did you hear me? I'm like, I get off FaceTime? Like, this is weird. But and then so they would like message more on Instagram, and she said, Kaylynne, I give him 3 days. I cannot do this after the 3rd day. It's not even good to text after that, you know. But she's like, I give him 3 days. Y'all, while the 3rd day, he made a move. He said, I am interested in you. I've been praying about this, and I want to go on a date with you. And since then, they've been courting, now about to get engaged.
That's beautiful.
Like, just stuff so like beautiful. That. You know what I mean? But you can see, like, there are guys out there that are waiting like this, you know, that are contending like we are. There are people, even other ladies out there that are doing this, that are walking the walk, talking the talk like we are, that are like very happy in their season, in their singleness, but also, hey, some days I struggle. Some days I'm, you know, I need a little, you know what I mean? Help, Lord. Get away. I like that, you know? But it's so good to see, basically all that to say, to go back to your point, Donjhae, it's so good to see, like, you know, people holding on to their truth, to their, and not, you know, being pressured by the world, being pressured by their environment. What the world talks, the world gonna talk. Like, I'll be honest, you know, I don't drink. And the last time I had a drink was, I don't even know when either. But the world would see that and be like, girl, you don't drink.
Yeah,
what the
no.
heck, but it wasn't like no other thing but just my own. It was my own thing that I had a conversation with God about, and I realized me with alcohol was not the me now that I would
want. Yeah.
So I had to make a personal decision to say no, because I know if I go further, I might be somewhere different.
Alcohol's not even good. Everything I drink tastes like juice. Like I can't even drink actual alcohol. I might as well just give me some fruit punch.
Come on. I can make a Arnold Palmer if I want something. But for real, like some things that I had to, truth to me might look like truth to other people, so I had to hold on to my truth with what God and I said, my own convictions and stuff, and say, okay, no, I can't do it because of XYZ. God, I trust you with this, and let's walk together.
Yes,
that's good.
Agreed.
That was good.
Yeah,
I have a question. What do you guys feel about online dating or what the apps and stuff? I never tried it, and I don't think I ever will.
You came automatic.
Right.
You came automatic.
Dang, you ain't even finished. Hate it.
Right.
Next question.
I hate it. Okay, and this is why. Because first of all, I'm 34. I'm real old school. Okay, come and just holler at me. Like and I'm not aggressive. And I feel like on apps, you have to be aggressive on there because everybody's trying to get with everybody. So I'm not gonna slide in your DMs. If we both swipe right, you know that we linked. Come and holler at me. Like, why do I gotta come and talk to you first? So no,
yeah, I can't do that either.
I hate it. So no.
I'm like you, that like old school. I want to be pursued and courted and all that stuff. So yeah, that's why I didn't get on there, because I'm not about to get in nobody DMs.
No, I'm not about to do that.
I don't like online dating. I like a confident man. If you want to come talk to me, you come up and talk to me. Because you can become somebody completely different behind a phone screen, a computer screen. I really like when a man knows what he wants and he goes after. I find that so attractive.
I do too. It looks like we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Kaylynne, have you done online dating?
I did. No, I used to do it like right after I broke up with. I only had one boyfriend, so I broke up with him in 2016. And the rest have been situationships, but half of my situationships have been online dating. And I stopped online dating. Oh Lord, probably I'm not gonna think back in my head. That's my old life now. But probably back in like late 2017, 2018, I met this like one guy in Raleigh, and that was another situationship. But after that, like I think into 2017 was my last time on there. And actually, Donjhae can attest to this. My other friend, she wanted me to join with her recently. And so I texted her, I said, what do you think about this? Like, what do you think if I do it? She said, not like she went off. I think we FaceTime and we were talking about it. We were talking like, obviously girls, whatever. And then we were like half the time, sometimes Donjhae and I just FaceTime each other, but we're working on our own, like do our own work. But anyway, so I was like, what do you think about it? She's like, nah, I like it. She said, girl, I got and they all came to me like, I was like, you right, thank you for the encouragement. She had to bring me back. Because I was like, Hinge might work. I mean, if you get a little.
To people watching this, like one of my friends, she's been with her guy for like 2 years and they met on Tinder. So it works for some people.
It does work.
But I think it's also preference. Like I don't, that's not how I want to meet someone.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, I have a really good friend who swears by it. And
yeah, as I say, we all know someone. Totally for it, but not for me.
Just not for me.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That was a quick note. You had another question, Tay?
Oh no, that was it.
Oh, I got you. Anybody else have a question?
I actually did, and then okay, I do. So I don't know if this is like, because we use the term situationship a lot. So I want to know, like, do you find would you think you would get in another situationship, or like what boundaries do you have to stop yourself from getting in a gray area? Because I feel like this is a generational thing. Like you don't hear people talking about situationships like your parents. They weren't in situationships. Like you hear it in our generation.
Yes,
so
true.
I guess, what do you think caused it, and do you think you would get into one again? And like, if you don't think so, why not?
I know for me, I wouldn't, because situationships to me means there wasn't no commitment. So the point of me, like, for seeing if this guy's going to be the one I marry, he's got to have commitment. So that would be my deal breaker.
Yeah. And I guess what would be the period to go from we're getting to know each other to we're dating each other? Or is it just based off of who you?
Yeah, I think it's based off who I'm dating. Like, you get a feel, you know how things are progressing.
Yeah.
Like, just like people that stay in relationships for a long time, and then like the guy never proposes, but they've been together for like 7 years. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? Like, and I'm not gonna make no man propose to me. Like, I'm not asking him. I'm not gonna force him. Like, you don't want to marry me, that's fine. I'm just gonna I'm gonna move on. Like, but so like same situation. Like, so just use that as like how situationship. Like, if there's no title, so to speak, if you're not in this for the long haul, then deuces.
Yeah.
What about you, ladies?
Ain't no situations over here. No, I think I'm at my quota. Okay, I have met my quota for sure.
But what does a situationship mean to you? Because sometimes that can be like a friendship to someone else. So like, it's never really been defined.
I agree with you, Taylor. I feel like the situationships that I was in previously was we were doing everything but being in a committed relationship. And we're not doing that over here in this season where I am now. You gonna either commit or we gonna quit. And that's so no, I can't do that again. I think because I wasted valuable time. Because like I said, I dealt with that person for 5+ years. I let a boyfriend keep me from my husband. You wasted my time.
That's what I be thinking. I'm like, oh my gosh, you getting in the way of like my potential
yes. You are holding up the line. Please move.
Move out the way.
No, I just, and I know, and I just said this to one of my friends as well. And how crazy, I just said this on my podcast. So y'all are all up in my business.
Podcast, y'all.
Right. Another shameless plug.
Hey, right. Here we go. What's it called? Give us the info.
Okay, so you can subscribe. It's Hey Girl.
Hey Girl.
On all platforms. But I just was talking about this, the situation that I was in. He knew that he was holding up the line. Okay, he knew it. He knew, because he would, like, y'all, I could have really been on an episode of like First 48 Snap. Because he would just like, it was just so insane. He knew that he was holding up the line. And a lot of the guys that was interested in me during our time were amazing guys. Like A1, like engineers, professors, like
girl, and you didn't leave him?
Girl, over here like Boo Boo the Fool, okay? Over here looking crazy. And so,
like Boo Boo the Fool.
And the crazy thing is, all of those guys now, right, are all married with children. Right. And so when the last one I think had got married, here comes Boo Boo the Fool. Like, how do you feel that all of those guys that, you know, wanted to be with you and you were with me are now married? Right. I feel like somebody better get me an orange jacket, because I'm going to go inside your head. Like, why would
the audacity?
Not an orange jacket.
Wow. You really just said that to me?
Right.
You woke up and chose death today. Like,
he chose violence.
Chose violence.
So absolutely not. I know that I do not have the energy to do that again. And I just know whoever God has for me has to be awesome, because honey, the mess that I put myself through, okay, that wasn't God, that wasn't the devil, that was me. That was my choice. I chose that. So no, not again. No.
Agreed. Same.
No situationships. I think a part of it too is like, I think a part of it somewhat comes down to self-worth too, because a part of me didn't accept commitment because I didn't think I deserved it. I really part of that was because of it. Or I was like, well, you know, they're doing this, so it doesn't really matter. But nah, I have self-worth now, so real. It's not happening.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I think that's goes to say for like our generation in general, because you, like you said, it's so common. And I'm like, women are just aiding and abetting these men to continue living these low lives. Like,
and doing the
we do better, maybe they'll do better. Exactly. Like, stop settling for the bare minimum.
Yes.
The bare minimum. I remember someone said, no, but for real, like someone said, like, y'all can be all like that for your photos. You got to be perfect on portrait mode, you know, all these filters. But with a guy, you're gonna let like a whole dude, like, you know, walk over you. Your worth. You're not. You're settling. You know, you're not thinking highly of yourself. Thinking how like God thinks of you. You know, like we said, we God's daughters. Hello, like think of even like, you know, like love your neighbor as yourself. Like, but do you love yourself? You know, like that phrase, you know, like first, how much love do you love you?
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's
agreed.
Yes, ma'am.
Agreed. I feel that. Any other topics we want to cover, ladies? Anything that's we want to discuss? Any questions we have?
I'm trying to think. There's probably so much we could cover.
Right. This honestly could be like episodes. But
I know, right? It could be like intro. It's legit. This is just the beginning. But for real, I just want to say thank you guys for joining me on this. Again, if y'all want to do another one, we can. This was just an open conversation I wanted to have with real sisters, one who are walking in their purpose, but two have experience in life, have experience in dating, in situationships, have have very diverse history in their own lives, and they can bring such a rich perspective. And that's one why I chose you guys and prayed about it, of course, but definitely how you guys on here to speak to other people too, that you can live in your singleness, and that the myths of singleness, one being singleness is a curse. No, I am so against that one. Like,
Valentine's Day is the best. Let me stop.
Yeah, I love Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh, so much. That's my favorite. Like, girl, I'm here with you on that. Like, I love Valentine's Day so much. But so we wanted to cover topics like these, just for anyone who's listening and who will watch this, that you are loved, your worth is in Christ. Continue walking out your singleness. If you are single, enjoy it. Okay. Yes. Enjoy it. This is coming from ladies who are, like I said, literally from virgin to sorry, Jesus. But like, you know what I mean?
That was cute. That was a nice way to say
that. But no, high key, like, it's so real. And one thing, I'm an open book. I'll share, I'll give my testimonies and I'll do that. So if we do another one between the girls and I, will totally make it happen for anyone who wants to do this, if we want to continue this. But thank you all so much. And I'm going to press end on the record.